Okay, I already finished the hem on the one sleeve. A roll hem. I use the serger as my guide, my serger stitch. I stitched the side seams together so it's the same width. I use as the guide for my hem. And I hem the bottom of my top, and I already have my casing. So in order to find exactly where I wanted my casing to go, when I had the two pieces together, I just folded and I pressed it. So I measure from here, whatever your width, your measurement is, the length is, maybe it's 6 inches. Press it across, create a crease, and then follow the crease and stitch it in place. My seam binding, I took it and I opened it up because remember I want to make sure my elastic easily slide through that. So my elastic, I just put a safety pin on it. I'm just going to stick it through there and pull it all the way through. And then when you get to the end, remember, after you get it pulled all the way through, you're going to take the two ends like this and then stitch it around in a square and then just pull it and then snap right up on the inside of your top. So if you don't have a serger, then I use a basting stitch as my guide. I put this on the machine. I move my needle position over as far as it would go, and then I stitch it using a long basting stitch. Now to sew it, I would take it and use the stitches to guide. And that's why it's imperative that you do this when you're making something with a circle. Because,
so what you do, fold it over?
Yep, I fold it over twice. And I'm going to use the edge. I'm going to take the edge and push it all the way over. And I take my fingernail and tuck it in.
Okay.
And of course you want a back stitch to hold it in place. And you all on my side seam, that's what I did on my side seam. I pressed a little interfacing in that corner. And when I stitch these two together, I want to show you right here. So I pressed a little interfacing in there to stabilize it. And then I stitched my stitch width. And then I clipped up so I can go and hem my sleeve. So you know. After I stitched it from the bottom up, then I went in there and clipped it so I can separate my sleeve from my top, and then I hemmed it all the way around. So that's what you're seeing over here, this interface and the stabilizer, because we got to clip it. All right, so it's folded under twice. The seam is my guide, and then I'm going to just follow that right along the edge. So when you're sewing something that is circular, like if you were making a circular skirt, when you get to certain points of it, you may have to take a needle or a straight pin or something and pull it in there. What we wanted to do is lay nice and flat and not have those little creases along the way. So I continue just to sew this, turning it, my stitches right along the edge, and the other edge is pushed all the way over to that fold. Because I want the hem to be consistently even. So, because we learn how to do professional techniques. And that's how I do my hem. Now, if I got to a point where it looked like it wanted to bunch up, I take my pin and put it right up in the stitch and pull it and let it ease in. And then I can get it to lay nice and flat and be consistent without any puckers. So that's how we would hem the sleeve. All the way through. So finish it all the way to the other end. So I want to show you how to sew the binding on the neck. So here I took the bias tape, remember, and I cut it.
Is it 2 inches?
2 inches, right. Now I took the beginning of it though, I folded it in so to have a finished edge. I just took it and fold that in. And I'm starting at my center back. This time, though, I want my binding to show on the outside. So I'm going to start it. I'm going to sew it at 1/4 inch. Now, you can make yours as narrow or as wide as you like. You can sew it 1/2 inch, whatever you like. But I'm sewing mine on the inside. So inside is the wrong side and the right side of the binding together because I want it to finish on the outside.
So what is the difference
so it's
between inside and outside?
preference. You'd see the stitch You will see the stitch on the outside, but this way you're going to see the binding on the outside. That's the difference in the two. So if I stitch this all the way around, then I might have to go in certain places and clip it. And then I would take it and turn it, and then I would stitch it again right on the edge. And that is going to finish the neck. And this is the right side. And then I will let them overlap. See, that's why we cut this on the bias, because it'll stretch and lay flat. And you won't get any puckers. If you cut this on the straighter grain, it's not going to lay flat. So I just did this little bit so you can see. So that is going to be the right side on the outside of my neck. The outside of my top. Along the neckline. So if you follow those simple steps, you're going to have a really good looking top. Now what I'm going to do is I'll finish it completely, and I'll post it on Pinterest. And my site name is Fashion 4 with the number 4, Your Passion, and you'll see exactly what the top look like, completely finished.
Passion for Your Passion.
Fashion 4, number 4, Your Passion. All right, Fashion for Your Passion.